I know a lot of us may not know about this, or some of us have little understanding, and that's why we are looking into receivership. Welcome to Away Sarayo show, where we look into relevant real estate and related industry topics and convert them into easy to understand insights. I'm your host, Awais Always. The topic we are looking into today is crucial for businesses facing financial hardship. As I said, it's receivership. So, why are we looking into this topic? I'll take small help of my friend so I can share the statistics accurately. Toronto Star recently published an article saying more than 25 Ontario housing developers saw projects go bust this year, a higher number than province has ever seen in years. According to Insolvency Insider, a database that tracks the largest insolvencies in Canada, 18 receivership filings were reported for Ontario developers in 2023, with 16 filings in 2022, 19 filings in 2021, and 15 in 2020, numbers based on reporting on a larger court-appointed receivership, said Dina Kovacevic, editor at Insolvency Insider. And this is where it caught my attention because I had little information. Everybody knows about bankruptcy, but receivership was an important topic. So why not we look at it? So what exactly is receivership? Receivership at its core is a legal process where court assigns a receiver who comes into the picture and looks after or takes over the assets and operations of the company. This happens when the borrower actually is struggling financially or is in default of the loan. The goal here is to protect the creditors and get the company back on its feet. However, sometimes the receiver may have to sell the assets to recover all the funds. Once again, I'll take help of my friend just because of the technical definitions. Why? Because I want to make sure you understand there's a difference between bankruptcy and receivership. Sometimes they are confused in terms of terminology. However, the fundamentals are totally different. Bankruptcy is a process through which people or other entities who cannot repay the debts to the creditors may seek relief from some or all of their debts. In most jurisdictions, bankruptcy is imposed by court order, often initiated by a debtor. Now, the receivership, unlike bankruptcy, a receivership isn't a legal action, but rather an additional solution with a layer of legality. In case of a secured lender, a receivership is designed to protect the borrower's assets that represent the loan during an interim period until the creditor's claim is resolved. To help us understand receivership better, now we'll break it down into key components so you understand the actual process that follows. So why receivership? As I mentioned earlier, companies sometimes find themselves in a situation which is financially distressed and they are looking for some sort of solution. This often happens with a lot of companies if they have heavy loads of debt, poor management, or it can be any project going bust. However, this is the situation where creditors, it can be a large bank or a supplier, do petition to the court that comes into the picture to help in terms of acquiring all the assets through the borrower. However, it's not done through the creditor. Court assigns a receiver who comes into the picture and takes over all the assets and the operations. So who is receiver? Receiver is impartial third party, which gets assigned to this company which is under financial distress. Receiver works in the best interest of the creditor and the stakeholders. Receiver will come into the picture, look at all the situation and find a solution. The goal is simple: to put the company back on its step so they can pay off loan properly and run the company effectively. However, as I said earlier, sometimes receiver may have to sell all the assets to recover all the funds.
So, what does receiver do? Receiver, when coming into this picture, does have different or several key tasks. First, receiver takes control of company's assets. These assets can be real estate, can be machinery, um, can be intellectual property. However, the goal for the receiver is to work on the company's assets and operations and get them preserved, sometimes even get the value higher. The goal is always to look into the company, restructure it, and bring it on its feet. However, sometimes, as I said, may have to sell the assets and recover all the loan that might be part of it. The impact on the company. Once the receiver takes over, this doesn't mean this is end of the company. As I said, the receiver's goal is to come in and make the company work. However, the process can be disrupted. There can be layoffs in the company. At the other hand, the company's day-to-day operations are now looked after by a third party who is receiver, and the management have very little involvement. So the impact either can be little, can be significant, depending on the company and the process going on. So the outcome of receivership. Once the receiver comes into the company, the process can last from a few months to several years. It depends why the receivership is implemented in the company. As I said, on one side, receiver can make things turn around and companies back into action and operating as before. However, on the other hand, if things didn't work, receiver might have to sell all the assets and recover all the goods or the funds. The goal in this situation is always to look after creditors' recovery and, if possible, allow the business to continue in some form. Legal and financial considerations. As I mentioned earlier, receivership is a legal process or solution that come into place in a certain situation. However, there are rules and regulations of receivership that governs it, how it works. So the companies and the creditors that are involved in this process, which is not easy, it is important that they follow advisors or certain legal advisor that help them throughout this whole process and considerations, because it's a crucial step in part of the company and recovery of the funds. Conclusion. So receivership is a vital process to help companies in financial distress. While it can be challenging, as you saw there, it do provide a structured process to help companies in this situation. On one side, it can company can go out of business. On the other hand, it provides a financial solution and save the business. If you are in a position that you are going into receivership process, please make sure you look into professional advice, as it's a cumbersome process and it can be a lengthy process, so they can assist you accordingly. That wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or inquiries, or if you want deep dive into this topic, please comment below. I'm your host, always. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And stay active, stay away from trouble like receivership. And I'll see you into the next episode.